Let me just say this upfront to manage expectations. This achievement is hard and cannot be done solo. At least 2 players will be needed. Here are the basics. No difficulty or loud stealth tactic required, but sneaking is recommended. At least 1 player must have done Texas Treasures Tree for the blueprints, allowing a panel in the security room to be removed, revealing a puzzle. Upon completing the challenge, the shrine in the drill control room will open up. Playing from start isn't required, so we can invite friends in at this moment before picking up the suit for the achievement. Let's check out the puzzle. The revealed device comes with a button, screen, timer, and switch. Pressing said button starts a 20-second countdown, plus assigns us 3 icons. We must then interact with 3 intercoms scattered around the map in left to right order of the icons before pulling the switch, all within 20 seconds. Doing so successfully will count as 1 set, and do that another 2 times to solve the puzzle. It won't be easy. Now, we don't need all 3 sets done in a row or back to back. Failing is fine and doesn't cause any progress. In fact, if the assignment is not favorable, we can reroll by pulling the switch early and pressing the button again. Next, the icons. There'll be 3 groups: suitcases, equipment, and stances. I can't quite call these deployables because there's money here, and I can't call these guns since there's a drill. Anyway, in each puzzle set, an icon from each group is picked in a random sequence. The locations of the suitcases and equipment intercoms are all in the starting area, while the stances intercom are all within processing. All 3 groups of intercoms themselves have 3 variations, so don't expect them to be in the same place every time. I'll have clips of all locations in the later part of this video. Tactics-wise, loud is messy. 20 seconds is short enough, and we don't want the additional bullets and enemies slowing us down. Thus, stealth on normal is best. Note that 1 pager has to be spent on the camera guard, leaving us with 3 spare. How about strategy then? Well, the general idea is to have each player cover multiple intercoms within a zone. And after poring through all the information, I came up with a few groupings. Naturally, processing is one of them. We can have 1 player dedicated to all the stands intercoms, or have the panel player attempt the ones close to the security room. The latter is a must if we only have a 2-man team. Otherwise, with a dedicated player, we'll most likely have to take out the patrol, so that's the second pager. The next grouping would be extraction and the staff area. There'll always be 1 intercom here, 2 to 3 suitcase intercoms here, and most of the time, 1 equipment intercom at the top of the stairs to the helipad. The player would wait in the middle and then sprint out to reach them. 1 guard is also here in extraction, making that pager number 3. And the last grouping I recommend is the admin office and lab. 1 to 2 equipment intercoms are here, and 1 to 2 suitcase intercoms here. 1 guard also patrols the walkway, so that's pager number 4. What's left is the helipad, but the intercom spawns here are either sparse or spread too far apart. There's also another guard whom we don't have spare pages for, so I would skip this. Here's how we can assign players depending on our team size. 4 players, 1 at the panel, 1 at processing, 1 at extraction and staff, and the last at admin and lab. 3 players, exactly the same as before, minus admin and lab. Now, 2 players is where things get tricky. We'll definitely take extraction and staff since that's the best grouping, so the panel player has to step up in processing. Depending on the variation, we'll have 1 to 3 viable intercoms close to security. Ooh, viable. What a dirty word. With that said, I prefer to simplify things and just go for the walk stands, either behind the red tank or in front of it. Otherwise, it's a restart. That's what I did for the 2-player run with Desti. It's also the same for the other groupings. If we feel that any of the intercoms are too far out for our liking, like this one next to the lab's escape ladder or to the side of the helipad, feel free to exclude them in our run. As for the setup, bring something to help make markings. Trip mines, first aid kits, or arrows and bolts. The Yakuza perk deck is not a must, but definitely good to have. And we're not ready yet. More preparation needs to be done. Obviously, we need to get to processing and take out the cameras. Then the other players will neutralize the guards and civilians in their own zones. Be sure to dispose of all bodies in the outdoors, because the helicopter is a moving camera. Also, do not shoot the helicopter. That will trigger the alarm. Next, identify the intercoms available in the area and mark them. Here's an example. In this demonstration clip, the camera guard has already been dealt with. We've also gotten one of the best variations with 5 intercoms in the vicinity. So first, we'll secure the area. That means the guard in extraction, the 2 CVs in the staff area, and 2 more at the helipad, since we got an intercom there. Once that's done, we'll use strip mines to make markings. And we've got drill, ammo, medic, money, and revolver. That's the prep work done. I'll have images and demonstrations for the variations in each area and grouping prepared. Do refer to them during your runs to locate the intercoms. As usual, timestamps will be in the video description. And finally, we get to execution. When all players are ready, the panel player will push the button and call out the icons, while everyone does the pressing, with panel player finishing with the switch. Communication here is key, so using a mic is a plus. But text is also fine. We can shorten the icon names to just 1 or 2 letters, or whichever makes sense in our own scenarios or language. And that is a beast of an achievement. The most difficult role I feel would be the panel player, because they have to do all the mental gymnastics, decide real quick whether to carry on or reroll, then communicate it out. I know some are bothered this cannot be done solo, but considering it's one of the last few achievements, the difficulty and cooperation required makes it a great end to a great game. Keep calm, don't give up, and we'll get this done. Night out.
Form a direct link between Rainey and Midland Ranch, an illegal weapons compound in central Texas, which was subject to a massive police raid earlier this month. The public were also given access to a recorded conversation allegedly captured at Sarah's main office, in which Rainey hires an arsonist to commit acts of sabotage against a rival company. Though the identity of the arsonist the identity of the arsonist has yet to be confirmed. The FBI has placed Jacques Brunier, a French terrorist, on the Interpol's most wanted list as their prime. CEO Alice Rainey in the wake of a corruption scandal that has sent the company's stock value plummeting. The FBI is investigating Rainey after materials leaked to the public mere days ago. Daring train robbery in Fort Worth gave one crane manufacturer some much-needed publicity. To Sarah's chief of security, Gabriel Santiago. The contents of the recording form a direct link between Rainey and Newell. Sent by Rainey to Sarah's chief of security, Gabriel Santiago. The contents of the recording form a direct link between Rainey and
Look.
Nothing new down here at all.
examine how a daring train robbery in Fort Worth gave
Shut up and get down.
Heroes work slower when you have civvies hostage. those civvies to your advantage.
Just don't shoot.
Nothing new, same as it ever was, etc.
The Ceres Board of Shareholders recommend the following. Sustainable energy and research applications is a
Shut up and get down.
Texas values. Ms. Rainey's
Hands up, head
actions
down.
are in direct violation of those values, and we plan to sever all connection with her. Our team reached out to Alice Rainey for comment. We have yet to receive a reply. More on this story as it develops. When we come back, we'll examine how dairy.
Got a job to do, friends, and it isn't killing civvies.
Our top story tonight, the shareholders of Sarah. Leaked to the public mere days ago, placed her under suspicion of multiple crimes, including bribery, money laundering, extortion, industrial sabotage, and even arms stealing. These materials include several emails between Rainey and her accountant, in which Rainey calls for the given access to a recorded conversation.
Shit! Don't do
I'm
anything
going
stupid.
to be slower now.
No problems at all, everything's cool.
Hands up, head down.
Nicely done. That will make the kennels hesitate.
On the ground. Hands up, head down. Hey,
Corruption scandal that sent the company's stock value through
hands
the
up,
roof.
head down.
The FBI
Shut
are
up and get
currently
down.
investigating Brady after materials leaked to the public mere days ago placed her under suspicion
Get
of
down.
multiple crimes, including bribery, money laundering, extortion, industrial sabotage. Illegal activity. Also given access to main office in which Rainey hires an arsonist to commit acts of sabotage. The arsonist has yet to be confirmed. The FBI has placed Jacques Bernier, a French terrorist, on the Interpol's most wanted list as their prime suspect. Perhaps most alarming of all, the leak contains a damning voicemail sent by Rainey to Sarah's chief of security.
We need to link the pump generator to the right oil batch. When the pipes are set, pull the lever on the tank.